There is a brand new cape to unlock, and it's themed around the zombie horse, which is interesting because they completely broke horses in the last update. Now horses accelerate much slower, are generally slower, and it's like the horse has a horrible input delay. Thankfully, this was reported on Mojang's own bug fixing site very quickly, and they reported it as working as intended. This is strange, but there is a response from a community manager here saying that this issue is working as intended because all of these mobs are server authoritative, just like camels and happy ghasts are. All movement logic is calculated on the server, which can introduce a slight delay on the client side, and they believe that by moving it to the server, they can do new things such as have mounts floating in water or other advanced physical interactions. This is kind of wild because I totally agree that it sounds like this is an important technical change, but to say that the important technical change caused a bug and therefore they're not interested in fixing that bug is crazy. I don't care, the majority of Minecraft players aren't playing on a server all the time, they're playing single player, and so the fact that there's a server and a client side and they're both better synced up doesn't matter to them as much as the fact that all mobs feel bad is, and that is something that I think is really important, and it's why so many people say, like NozzaFox, they're more hyped about bug fixes. That is a crazy position to be in, but if you are excited for bug fixes, 26.0 is coming real soon. However, even sooner is the zombie horse cape. This is a PSA I'm going to put out right now because you have until Monday, December 15th at 10 AM Pacific time, and so you need to have played Bedrock and done the challenges by then. By the way, Mojang are trying to keep this cape a secret with a big question mark, but they have shared on some of their social channels what it looks like. This is the zombie horse cape, and you should go out there and earn it right now by doing one of these two challenges. Or to be precise, challenge 1 is Spear Mayhem, and this is defeating 5 mobs with a spear in survival mode, Bedrock Edition. If you defeat 5 mobs with a spear, that is to say not the same spear attack, not the same spear even, or the same world, but kill 5 mobs using any spear, and you will get the zombie horse cape. Once you do this, it'll be available as a character creator icon, and apparently also will be in your Java skin. This is a brand new cape, and this is the important challenge, but challenge 2 therefore is the spawn mount challenge. If 75 million zombie horses have been spawned by the end of the weekend, then there'll be a zombie horse onesie. This is something that inevitably will come down to one guy placing 30 million of those, but no matter if you participate in that second one, you'll still get the zombie horse onesie. But the first challenge, if you haven't killed 5 mobs with a spear by the end of the weekend, you will not unlock. This is a big deal, this is very important, and so you might need to play Bedrock despite its non-functional horses this weekend specifically. Okay, great news, we've got that covered. Let's talk about the next update, because who's not excited for the 26.0 update, or 1.26.0 if you're Android or iOS, and B is yours RS says, offhand torches and switching the settings button back to its OG spot, that's all I want, main. And great news for you, 26.0, the first update coming out for Bedrock next year, even before the first update for Java at the same time, the first update coming out for Bedrock will switch the settings button back to its original spot. Now, I heard this and thought, wow, what a win for the Minecraft community, but I have heard a few takes, including from Phoenix, who say, actually, this is probably a sign that Minecraft tested it, tried to find out if more people were buying add-ons, and when they found out that they weren't, they switched it back. But in either case, 26.0 will fix this, and this will also be the update that brings in subtitles. There are so many comments that are excited about those. They are officially called closed captions, because subtitles, I believe, just refers to speech, and, closed captions can refer to cats meowing or whatever. But SC Henry says, I hope that the subtitles can also show the name of music that occasionally plays in Minecraft. I'd like to just quickly remind you on this one, while we're getting all sorts of weird forms of parity from the Java edition, features that no one has ever asked for, like removing, the intermediate stages of horses, or the different grasses, or just all these weird changes we always talk about. At the same time, this year, I think it was where the Chase the Skies drop, Minecraft decided to introduce these little music toasts to let you know which song was playing at a given point in time. This would be great for actually getting to know the soundtrack. I know all of the alpha and beta stuff really well, but I'm a bit more lost when it comes to newer releases. If I could see it in the top left of my screen, that would be great. This is an option on the Java edition, but they never added it to Bedrock, and so while we're focusing on the parity of features that no one has interacted with, the features that came out this year for Java, when they should have been ported to Bedrock, are currently looking 6 or 9 or 12 months late. Obviously, we won't talk about the offhand and its 11 years, because I'm glad that they made the focus with closed captions first, but I also think that there's a big list of parity that I hope they get through. Speaking of parity, there needs to be parity not just between Java and Bedrock. Also, wait, speaking of parity, I think you mean party. So yeah, this is funny in my opinion. Minecraft introduced the party system, and it is a very good one. It's a great example of like the corporate interest of trying to play with your friends, colliding with actually good gameplay features. This is great in my opinion, and so I agree, Llama Logic, love your comment, but to move that aside, I think there needs to be parity, or a party, between different mobs as well. Now that we have the Husk's skeleton cousin, which I did say was my favorite mob before having to walk back, because no one likes the Parched, but that's what makes it beautiful, right? Now that we have the skeleton version of the Husk, clearly that just means we need a iced version of the zombie, and it'll be good to go. Well, even though this got 200 upvotes, I do need to point out that technically we need a zombie version of the Bogged, also technically we need a skeleton version of the Drowned, and then I guess also a zombie version of the Wither Skeleton, and then we will have complete, absolute world peace and perfection, except actually also then there's the zombie villager. You need to have a skeleton villager, which would be great for when I starve my villagers. Speaking of starving, every time I look at this guy, he just looks ridiculous. I want to point out that I've been getting a surprising number of messages asking when I'm next doing some form of merch, because it's been over a year since we last dropped something, and the truth is that I don't want to just be someone who religiously pushes something out every 3 or 6 months. I want to make things that are impactful and that are exciting, and I have an announcement about exactly that. I've not been able to talk about it for the last few months, but I've been working with Creo Cards to make a playing card set, and one of the proof of concepts for that is this, the IBX Toycat Collector's Edition Founders card. This is going to be the very first card in that set, and so I wanted to make it something incredibly important. So I arranged with an artist to have this be hand-drawn, and I think it's absolutely delightful and represents the most special part of my world. It is the Let's Play house that is obviously kind of like a children's caricature of what a house should look like, and it's a beautiful representation that includes a little Easter egg or two if you feel like looking. I absolutely love this, and if you would like to love it as well, then the fun thing about it that is part of the logistical challenge of this is every single one of these won't just come with the slab and the fun little 1 of 1,000 thing, but it will also be, in this little sleeve that's great putting on a shelf, it will also be hand-signed by me, but the trade-off for that is that every single one of them needs to be pre-ordered right now, and only 1,000 will exist, because obviously there is a huge shipping part of like getting this sent all the way to me, then all the way out to different places around the world. There are lots of moving parts in making this work, but I will be signing every single one of these Founders Edition cards. If you want to get your hand on this piece of history right now, check the link down below while stocks last. I am incredibly excited, and maybe you should be too. But speaking of things that I'm excited about, as much as I can talk about this all day, or indeed the brand new cape, or indeed the 1.26 update that's coming next year, I instead want to go into corrections. This is something that I actually find to be important to do. I like to correct when I've got something wrong, because then we can all grow together. It is something that is hard to do sometimes for the soul, but I want to let you know that Keith Kalopsa is right. I implied that a baby zombie horse would grow up, but they don't. They are undead, which means they never grow up. Also, they never spawn naturally. I thought that they might, because when you spawn them via spawn eggs or dispensers, randomly they will be babies, but in the wild they will always be adults. Also, as another correction, the zombie Nautilus is apparently 10% faster than a living one. I relied on secondary information to believe that it was the same speed as a regular Nautilus, but according to actual testing in the game, zombie Nautiluses are faster, and that is now reflected on the wiki. Speaking of things that are reflected on the wiki, this SD Traveler says he's going to wait a little bit till he updates in case it breaks everything more. You don't need to worry about that. The update hasn't broken anything disastrous, now you know. Also, we've got Webspy, who is 8 hours deep into looking for his Diamond Nautilus armor. I got so lucky to find it in about an hour and a half, but Webspy is still looking. It is a 1.1% chance for any ocean chest that you search in, so if you keep on going, maybe you'll hit it big. Also, I love how Toycat starts talking about money mid-strip mining. I love that I talk about this too. I think that honestly, can I go a little bit deep here while talking about Nautiluses and stuff? I think the reason that a Nautilus search is fun, or the reason that genuinely diamond mining or strip mining is fun, is because sometimes when you're playing a game, you need those moments to be able to effectively turn off your brain from the game. The reason we have comfort games are they're games that we know the rules of, they're games we know how to play, and we can kind of use, say, half of our brain to do it, which means the other half can do what your brain will naturally do when idle, which in my case is, I don't know, thinking about the philosophy of like, oh yeah, what is it? What is the deal with money and how it affects and changes us all differently? And indeed, I got this interesting comment from Diggin' Truths. It's much larger, but it's on a members-only video, so I didn't want to share it in case she didn't want it public. But she says, uncomfortable conversations are where all your personal growth comes from, and talking about these things is not a sign of weakness, but a sign of strength. It is much easier to ignore these traits by using substances or unhelpful behaviors than to look inside and deal with the hand you've been given. And I think that this is really how I try to think about life. It is so easy to not grow and just, like think about some form of other thing in there. It's so easy just to like turn it off because it's hard, it's tricky, and you don't always want to do that. But I think that having like some time to think and reflect is so important. And whether that means meditating for some people, whether that means having time to actively be bored for others, or whether that means just having some time to get at the diamond mining or, work on a big project that is relatively big, and then you can work on it and your brain can do all the other things. And even if that just means planning the rest of your world, you need time to have nothing on your mind so that you can do bigger things. And so when Fried Potato says, I hope you're living well, Toy Cat, thank you for asking. I am trying my best to live well. I think December has been a busy month so far, but so far it's been busy in the good way. I think that as of today, I am still very much enjoying it, and I think that, update week is always a nice little fun one. It's weird that it's changed over time. It used to be that update week was the craziest, most hectic week out there, and now it's a bit different. Because of drops, it feels very much like things have changed. I saw a meme about this that suggested, like, would you rather have one, really decent Minecraft video, or one YouTube video that takes a year to make, or would you rather have 3 to 4 shorts that come out every 3 months? And it's an interesting thought that, like, we now have much more frequent drops, and also each drop makes a smaller part of the total game. So the update weeks have turned into like, oh yeah, there's a drop now, let's do some fun new things, which is kind of that like chill activity. But I do think that, even though Minecraft have just planned their entire update setup around drops being the future, I do think that means that probably if they're doing this based on making the most popular and well-developed game they can, I think that trends will change and inevitably having big content updates will be popular again. Will Minecraft's version system be able to cope with that? That's an interesting question. Also, Salty Rainbow Pike had a question that I figured we'd go into just for a little bit of fun today, because as much as I enjoy talking about all these things, we do also talk about some pretty serious subjects, and Salty Rainbow is concerned for my safety because I live in the UK, and Minecraft can weaponize the police to hurt you just for speaking your opinion. So I would also, I think that this is an important reminder about proportionality. There is a really bad thing we have in the UK that some number of people do have the police visit them and sometimes make vague threats because of what they say online. But also, I think it's a useful reminder that if you live in the United States, if someone says to you, and the swatting was a big thing, people were killed because if you say the right thing to the police department in a local area and they have a SWAT team, they go around your house and they believe that you're killing your wife, and so they hear you in there and they'll go in and raid you and they'll shoot someone's dog, or if you're aggressive towards them, they'll shoot you because they think you're a murderer. I think that thinking about the edge cases as how an entire country lives is a bad way to think, and the internet can encourage you to think that that's how it is. But just like how the majority of Bedrock players don't deal with bug rock moments, but do deal with horses, the majority of Americans don't deal with swattings or school shootings, but do deal with, I don't know. You can pick your own issue to insert here. Ooh, big one. Isn't that exciting? And the same thing is true in the UK, that we have some big real day-to-day issues. And honestly, I think that the police coming to hurt me because of what I said for my opinion online, I don't think it's actually that high up on the list of priorities, thankfully. And with that said, I hope you'll enjoy this video. I've got one last little pitch that if you've ever wanted to own one of these, when I started this video, there were 999 left. I don't know how one person got their hands on them early, but as of right now, there are this many that you can get. So if you want to get your hands on one of these 1,000, make sure to go to the link down below. They will run out. They will then be gone. I won't be able to do more of these because signing 1,000 is already a big logistical nightmare. We have to ship them across the entire Atlantic Ocean multiple times. It's going to be a lot of fun, but also that's why we're limiting it. I don't want to destroy myself on that one. So if you want to get one of these limited edition Toy Cat cards, please do go to the link down below. I am so incredibly excited, and it's so cool to finally have it in my hand after months and months of development and stuff like that. Anyway, make sure to check it out, and for now, I hope you all enjoyed this video, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.